like rainy days?
No, I don't.
Congratulations, you just scored Band 4. Now, what if I told you that rain questions, this topic that students dismiss as too simple, too boring, too obvious, are actually one of the easiest topics to push into Band 8 territory? The vocabulary is incredibly rich, and almost nobody uses it.
I mean, I saw this constantly as an examiner. Students would get the rain question and just switch off, like the topic wasn't worth their effort. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is actually a gift because the right vocabulary here is genuinely impressive to hear.
So if you've been dreading the weather questions, stick around, because today we're turning No, I Don't into Band 8 Gold.
Welcome to the IELTS Speaking podcast. I'm Anthony and I'm here with Felicity. Now, what makes this podcast different is that the advice you're getting comes from over a decade of real examiner experience. We're talking thousands of actual IELTS speaking tests. So when we tell you what examiners respond to, it's not theory. It's what I watched play out in real examination rooms again and again.
And today we're in the Part 1 Quick Wins series, Episode 9. We've done work and study, where you live, friends, ice cream, and now we're hitting rain, which is a current topic in the May to August 2026 rotation. So this is exactly what you may face in your actual test.
Right? And the reason we love Part 1 topics like this is because they look simple on the surface. Do you like rain? Does it rain a lot in your country? Do you prefer rainy days or sunny days? But underneath those simple questions is enormous potential to display sophisticated language. And that's what today's about.
Quick note, if you're just finding us for the first time, welcome. Go back to Episode 1 when you're done here. Everything builds on everything else. But for now, let's talk about rain. Okay, Anthony, let's start with the most basic question. Do you like rainy days? Walk me through what Band 4, Band 6, and Band 8 look like.
Right, so Band 4 sounds like this. No, I don't like rain. It makes me wet.
Oh no.
I know, I've heard it many times. Now, Band 6 is better. There's some development. Something like, not really, to be honest. I find rainy days a bit depressing, and it makes commuting quite difficult. But I suppose it's necessary for the environment.
Okay, that's decent. There's a reason, there's a counterpoint. What's Band 8?
Band 8 sounds like this. Honestly, it really depends on the intensity. If it's just a light drizzle, I actually find it oddly therapeutic. You know, that kind of gray, cozy atmosphere where you just want to curl up with a book. But when it's absolutely pouring and the streets start flooding, that's a different story entirely. What I tend to do on really heavy rain days is just work from home if I can.
Right, that's beautiful. And what I notice is same question, same basic opinion, but the Band 8 answer has texture. It has specificity.
Exactly. And the key phrase there is it really depends on the intensity. That's an it depends framing, which we touched on in earlier episodes. And it instantly signals to an examiner that this candidate thinks in nuance rather than absolutes. That alone moves you up.
Let's break down the vocabulary you used there, because I want listeners to really grab these.
Sure. So a light drizzle, drizzle, that's gentle, soft rain. The opposite is absolutely pouring or a downpour. These are common native expressions that examiners genuinely notice because most candidates just say strong rain or heavy rain.
Strong rain. Yes, I've heard that one too.
It's not wrong, it's just generic. Compare strong rain to a torrential downpour. Same weather, completely different band score impression. And then oddly therapeutic, theraputic. That's a gorgeous word for part 1. It means something is calming, almost healing, and the oddly makes it feel honest, not rehearsed.
Can I ask you something? Because this is a question I know listeners will have. What if someone genuinely does like rain? Like, a lot. Is that fine?
Absolutely fine. The examiner does not care about your actual opinion. What they care about is your language. You could say rain is your favorite thing in the entire world, or you could say you despise it with every fiber of your being. The score is determined by how you say it, not what you say.
So, just to reinforce that, this is the fabrication principle from episode 5. Content accuracy is not assessed. You can fabricate, you can exaggerate, you can be theatrical, as long as the language is strong.
Correct. And rain is actually a brilliant topic to be slightly theatrical about because the vocabulary is so vivid. The air feels quite muggy, muggy. That's warm and humid, a bit uncomfortable. That petrichor smell, petrichor, the smell of rain on dry earth. You drop that word in part one, and the examiner's ears prick up. I promise.
Okay, let's cover the conditional structure you mentioned in the hook, because I know that's a big band 7 to 8 lever.
Yeah, this is the if it's just, but when it's structure. It's essentially a conditional contrast. So instead of just stating your preference, I don't like rain, you qualify it. You say, if it's just a light drizzle, I quite enjoy it. There's something peaceful about it. But when it's absolutely pouring and you can't see 2 meters in front of you, that's when I find it really draining.
Let's hear that compared to a band 5 answer directly.
Sure. Band 5, I don't like rain because I get wet and cold. Band 8, if it's just a light drizzle, I actually find it quite refreshing, especially after a hot day. But when we get a proper downpour, and I'm talking streets flooding, visibility near zero, that's exhausting. What I tend to do is stay inside, make tea, and just watch it from the window, honestly.
What I tend to do, I love that phrase.
It's a habitual structure. What I tend to do is, it implies regularity, it adds a personal story, and it extends the answer naturally without sounding like you're padding.
Okay, second question. Does it rain a lot in your country? This one trips people up because they feel like it's a geography test.
Right, and it's not. It's a language test that uses geography as the topic. So band 5 would be yes, in my country it rains a lot in the rainy season. Band 8, it really varies by region, to be honest. Where I'm from in Ho Chi Minh, we get a very distinct wet season, usually around May to October, and it can be incredibly intense. I mean, we're talking daily downpours that last for hours. But in the dry season, you'd barely see a cloud. So it's quite a dramatic contrast, actually.
A dramatic contrast, barely see a cloud. These are so much more vivid than it rains a lot.
And notice what I did there. I used regional specificity, where I'm from. That makes the answer feel personal and genuine, even if you're improvising the details, which, again, you're allowed to do.
Third common question. Do you prefer rainy days or sunny days?
Now, this is where the contrast technique really shines because you have two things to compare, and comparison language is incredibly rich vocabulary territory. Band 5. I prefer sunny days. Rain is not good. Band 8. I'd probably lean towards sunny days if I'm being honest. There's just so much more you can do. But I'll admit there's a certain coziness to rainy days that I actually quite appreciate. The sound of rain on the window when you're curled up inside. There's something almost meditative about it. Though I suppose it depends on my mood as much as the weather itself.
I'd probably lean towards, if I'm being honest, I suppose it depends on my mood as much as the weather itself. These hedging and qualifying phrases are so useful.
And they're authentic sounding. That's the key. When a candidate uses I suppose or I'd probably, it sounds like genuine thought, which is exactly what part one is designed to test. Can you have a natural conversation?
Before we get to your key takeaways, quick favor. If weather vocabulary is something you're working on, we've put together a free weather vocabulary cheat sheet. All the best rain and weather expressions that actually move your score, ready to download. The link is in the description below. Completely free, takes 2 seconds. Grab it while you're listening.
Okay, let's lock in your 3 Band 8 rain strategies. Number 1, use the it depends on the intensity frame. Don't give a flat yes or no. Immediately qualify your answer with a condition. It really depends on, signals mature thinking, and adds automatic complexity to your response.
Number 2, upgrade your weather vocabulary. Swap heavy rain for a torrential downpour. Swap I get wet for the streets just flood. Swap I don't like it for I find it quite draining. Each individual swap takes you one notch higher on the vocabulary scale.
Number 3, use the what I tend to do on rainy days is. This phrase naturally extends your answer with a personal habit or routine. It makes your response feel lived in, genuine, and fully developed. And it's incredibly easy to memorize and deploy on any weather question.
3 strategies: sensory vocabulary, conditional contrasts, habitual structure. Rain might just become your favorite Part 1 topic.
From an examiner's perspective, the candidates who impressed me most on simple topics were the ones who leaned in, who treated "Do you like rainy days" as an invitation to be interesting, not a trap to survive.
If this clicked for you today, hit subscribe. We're publishing new episodes multiple times a week, and every single one is built around exactly this kind of examiner insider breakdown. You won't get this level of specificity anywhere else.
Next up, we're covering part 2, describing a time you got completely lost. It's a current cue card, and we're going to walk you through a full Band 8 storytelling model, including how to make a completely fabricated story sound utterly convincing to an examiner. That's episode 32. Don't miss it.
We'll see you there.